Okay, yes, hello. I am your weird Uncle Rald, even though I am probably not related to you. So, my nieces and nephews, I have a question. What are the interests of normal people? Sports? Movies? Or food? Well, my interests are far more odd and specific. Like old telephones, anteaters, and failed products. Now, why would anyone like something that's failed? I just find it interesting that a brand could be so confident in something, and despite marketing, advertising, and everything else, it still fails. I just think it's interesting people can reject a product in masses for whatever reason. But here we'll specifically focus on the flops, shit that just didn't live up to the hype. Now, a lot of these lists are the same because there are only so many massive product flops, but I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. Now, here are the 10.5 outrageous product failures. Now, I say outrageous because some of these failed for outrageous reasons. Frankly, some of them should have been successful. So let's break it down and see why each of these failed. Number 10.5, the DeLorean. It was made by its own company, DMC, or the DeLorean Motor Company. They produced this bad boy. You see, this one I don't count because it was made really iconic by one of the greatest movies of all time, Back to the Future 2. But let's be honest, we don't see a lot of people driving these. There's just lack of a demand and I guess lack of cool people. Number 10. Levi's Type 1 jeans. They're on this list because, you know, they're just jeans that you bought for $100. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a red tag with the logo on it. Wait, that's what's different, the tag? Okay, what the hell? Everything else is the same. See, in the early 2000s, there was a Super Bowl commercial that was really confusing. There were two people wearing Levi's Type 1 jeans and buffalo were running around them and I don't know, something weird. I don't know. They failed because they were overpriced jeans. You know, because they're just jeans. Number 9, Clairol's yogurt shampoo. You see, I think it failed because... Alright, we're gonna wash our hair with yogurt. We're gonna see if it works, okay? Okay, oh god, okay.
Wait, does it have fruit pieces in it?
Oh, I think it does!
Oh, whoops.
Oh, thanks, Sean. Oh my god, okay. Number 8, Bic disposable underpants. This is where I start to really get confused about these products. It would weird me out that I was wearing underwear made by a pen company, but it weirded most people out because they're disposable underpants. Wait, but wouldn't disposable underpants make more sense? I mean, we don't reuse toilet paper. I don't know, this might have caught on, but I don't think the market was ready for this company to branch out. Number 7, Colgate dinners. Pictures of these are scarce, so I imagine a pad thai noodle meal with a tube of toothpaste packed Lunchable style, but for adults. People hated this for the same reason as the underpants. Market wasn't ready for the company to branch out. Number 6. Betamax. So you have this little thing called the videotape format wars. It's probably the coolest,
dorkiest
thing to happen ever. In the late 70s and early 80s, you got a couple things floating around that sound like STDs. You have JVC's VHS, Video Home System, and you have Sony's Betamaxipad. I really want a Betamax player, but Sean won't let me get one.
We already have a VHS problem.
Betamax had better quality because the head was bigger, but this limited the tape length to 1 hour. VHS held 2 hours, so more movies could fit onto this format. JVC sold their format to third-party developers, making VCRs very abundant and very cheap. And another reason our friend and VHS emerged victorious is because of pornography. Porn was practically normalized on this format because it was cheaper and more accessible. However, this all, of course, is a pointless endeavor. We are forever in the format wars of our time. I think it's interesting that different movies come out on different formats, you know, because they're released at the time period the format is out. Like Men in Black on VHS or Inside Out on Blu-ray. And it's just going to continue until digital encompasses everything, and then we'll move on to something else. Maybe we'll download it directly into our minds. The Betamax flopped under its crushing obscurity. Number 5. The Ford Edsel! In 1958, this boat of a car was introduced. The logo looks like a superhero symbol. Now, the Edsel had a lot riding on it. Ford thought this was going to be huge in the future for the automotive industry. For a year leading up to this, Ford ran a campaign with teasers so they could get people hyped for their product. Ford expected to sell 600 or more of these a day, and on their best day, they probably sold about half of that. Now, why did this fail? People say it was either a bad car, it was really ugly, but I think it simply just did not live up to the expectations that Ford set for it. This almost bankrupts Ford, costing them $250 million. And that was 1958, so that's $2,000 million by today's money. One time I went to a Ford dealership and I asked the guy, hey, what do you know about the Ford Edsel? And he said, very little. It still makes people mad. Number 4, Zune. What happens when one company makes a product and then another company makes a similar product? Brand wars. And in brand wars, one product is always chasing the other product. And that's exactly what Zune was doing. It was made to compete with the iPod. Now you see, by the time Zune came along to the market, Apple already had this on lock. And look at its sleek design compared to the Zune. But there were some things that were better about Zune. For instance, Zune had a wireless feature way before the iPod did. And also, Zune could hold a lot more memory than the iPod. And it was cheaper. See, a lot of people thought the Zune was more advanced, but the iPod was aesthetically pleasing. The Zune flopped because it wasn't so pretty. Number 3, speaking of Apple, the Apple Newton. Yes! Talk about the grandfather of the iPhone. This thing looks like it could eat my iPhone for breakfast. Look at that. Look! There's a record feature on this.
Hello! Recording this on my Apple Newton in 2017. Woo!
The quality is really great. It's a pretty neat little contraption. And supposedly you can write and it will translate it into text. Let's see if it does that. Well, I wrote Uncle Rald and it says Uncle R&D. So close enough. Close enough. But the hand recognition was the #1 advertised feature. It was pretty faulty in that department. So this failed because it just had a couple bugs it couldn't work out. But imagine if it took off, we could be calling our phones Newtons. Number 2, the Kellogg's Breakfast Mates. This idea was ingenious. The goddamn milk was included with the cereal. And a spoon! Even though the milk didn't need any refrigeration, Kellogg's put it in the refrigerated aisle. And this is why it failed. People were too goddamn stupid to find where the product was. How sad. Number 1. The end-all be-all of failed products. Number 1. New Coke. Now, I won't get into everything about New Coke. You'll see why later this week. But I just wanted to say something, little side note for all of this. New Coke is from 1985. And I'm baffled and just amazed to think that this ended up in my refrigerator. Now, someone from 1985 would have had to think to themselves, hey, someone is going to want this at some point. And they probably sold it to someone who knows how many hands it went through before it got to me. But now it's mine and it sits in my refrigerator. I want to know the journey of it. I wish I knew. Alright, we went through a lot of failed products. Some failed for good reasons, some were head scratchers, but I have the Crapitalism comment question for you. Which one of these succeeded? Or at least should have taken off? And then describe how the world would be different. I'm your weird Uncle Rald. Thank.
Hi, this is your weird Uncle Rald on the Apple Newton, saying you should probably subscribe to me and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, and listen to my band camp, and travel back to the 90s to get yourself an Apple Newton.